everyone, you're watching Tamit Saleh's Tennis Forum, and we do have a lot to go over in this video. As you know, yesterday Rafa Nadal claimed his 10th Rome Masters 1000 title, defeating Novak Djokovic in the final 7-5, 1-6, 6-3. Very important, of course, just before the French Open beginning. It really gives us a idea of where these top players are. Rafa, of course, matched Novak Djokovic for 36 Masters 1000 titles. Those two have the most in the history of our sport. And loads of other things in this video I'm going to discuss about. We're going to be looking at the live ranking update, the live race, which it gets more and more important as the year goes along. Stefanos Tsitsipas leads the race. Is he still leading it? That's something we will discuss later on. And of course, looking ahead, there's the Belgrade Open. Roger Federer is back playing in Geneva, his hometown, and then the French Open beginning very, very soon. So a lot of tennis has happened. The clay season is almost over. Once again, Rafa Nadal, champion on clay, the king of clay, very unsurprisingly. We've got all of that to digest in this video. As always, please do drop a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and subscribe if you haven't already, and take part in the discussions that always take place in the comment section. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to give a massive shout out to Tennis Clash, who have very kindly sponsored this video. As you know, I love tennis, as do all of you, which is why you're here watching this video. And I also love mobile games because you can literally play them anywhere. I downloaded Tennis Clash, which is completely free to download and play against real life opponents. And for me, I was immediately impressed with the graphics and how easy it is to pick up. The game is available on both iOS and Android for free, and it's been a massive hit. I mean, the reviews speak for themselves. Over 60 million downloads with a 4.5 rating on iOS and a 4.2 on Android. And for me, easily the best mobile tennis game you can pick up. So make sure you go and download it for free using the link in my description below. Now, you've actually joined me here on a match point. As you can see, it's very easy to pick up. You swipe your finger where you want your shot to go, and then you tap on the screen where you want your player to go. As you can see, I love swiping left and right. I'm going to go inside out here. There we go. Should be the match very, very soon. He's struggling. Got him on the ropes to the left, and there we go. It's another victory for yours truly. And the matchmaking system is great. As you progress through the game, they give you better quality opponents. You can customize your character. You can pick different characters, unlock different characters, as well as working on certain attributes. So what I've done is I focused in on my fitness and also my forehand, which really gives me the longevity in these matches. You can play 1v1 against real life opponents in some of the world's famous tennis arenas. So make sure you go and download it for free using the link in my description below, because not only will you be supporting my channel, which I always appreciate, but you'll also get 200 gems and 500 gold, so you can start your journey in a strong way. So good luck, and I'll see you there. So unsurprisingly, the first thing we're going to talk about is Rafa Nadal winning yet another Masters 1000, another clay Masters 1000, and his 10th Rome title. This is the 4th tournament now that he has 10 titles in. A truly remarkable achievement. I believe Roger Federer has 2, which is in Basel and Halle, where he has 10 titles each. Novak has 9 at the Australian Open. Rafa Nadal now has 10 titles in 4 different tournaments: Monte Carlo, Roland Garros, Barcelona, and now Rome. What he had to say about it, Rafa said, "It's amazing to have the trophy with me again one more time here in Rome. I really wanted this 10th here in Rome after achieving 10 at Roland Garros, Monte Carlo, and Barcelona. I really wanted this one. It's a super important tournament for me. I went through a lot of things during the week, some positive, some great moments, some lucky moments, suffering moments. At the end, I think I played a very solid week of tennis. It's the right moment to win an important title." As you know, he did face match points against Denis Shapovalov. He was also a set and a breakdown. He was a breakdown in both the second and the third sets. He came through that match, and he's gone on to win the title, his 10th title, as he has said. And of course, the best preparation for him ahead of the French Open. As we know, Rafa doesn't really need to win any clay tournaments before the French Open. He would still go into the French Open as the overwhelming favorite. He has won that title 13 times. Could be 14 if he wins this year, which is incredible, because then it matches him with Pete Sampras, who achieved 14 slams. At the time, many thought that would be a hard record to beat. Rafa could match him with just French Open wins, and I think if not this year, then he will next year or whenever, he will definitely at least match, possibly even beat Pete Sampras just with French Open titles. This was the first time Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic have faced since last year's French Open final, a very, very one-sided final that was last year. And this one was a lot more competitive. It did go to a third set, a deciding set, which Rafa came out on top. Novak Djokovic had played a lot of tennis over the weekend due to the rain and nothing really anyone could have done. He ended up playing 4 hours and 56 minutes on Saturday, less than 24 hours before the final. He of course beat Stefanos Tsitsipas, coming back from a set down. That was a big win for him. Of course, Tsitsipas has been kind of the man to beat. He's been in great form. Novak Djokovic beating him in the quarterfinals, especially when Tsitsipas served for the match, that was quite big. He said even after that he spoke to Rafa and had a little laugh with him in the locker room, saying that the old guys are still around. Then he played the home favourite Sonego in the semi-final. Sonego of course beat Novak in Austria last year, if you remember, but then a lot of people said that someone had passed away, I believe a priest in Serbia, and Novak wasn't feeling well. A lot of other people also claimed that it wasn't really too important because Novak had won the 2 matches to secure the year-end number 1. But yeah, he played Sonego. He won the first set quite comfortably, lost the second, having served for the match, and you could have thought that the crowd was turning. Sonego now had the momentum going into the third, but then Novak Djokovic closed it out in 3. So yeah, 4 hours 56 minutes. Rafa on the other hand played Riley Opelka on the same day. 1 match for him. He won in comfortable straight sets, 6-4, 6-4. So a lot of us, myself included, thought this would be a very one-sided match. I thought Rafa would win in straight sets because playing 5 hours and then playing again the next day. Look, if you're in peak physical condition, peak health, playing Rafa in clay isn't easy, and probably 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose anyway. But playing him after that. However, Novak Djokovic did come out and say that he wasn't fatigued at all, that he could have played on for even a couple more hours. So anyone that's making any excuses, well, Novak Djokovic himself has said that there's no excuses when it comes to fatigue for that match. The match itself, so I always felt, especially in the first set, even though it was close, Rafa won it 7-5, that Rafa was always in control. No matter how well Novak played, I feel like Rafa had all the answers. Something changed in the second set. Rafa's level dropped, and I think Novak just got that confidence. He was playing better, and he won the second set 6-1, and at that point it was, for me, a 50-50 which way it goes. In the third set, Novak had his chances. It was 2-all, and Novak had a couple of break points, especially there was one break point where he had quite an easy forehand to put away cross court, but he hit the net, and then that was potentially the match there. And then Rafa of course held and then broke straight away, held again, and it was 5-2 before you knew it. And at that point Novak was really struggling, or it was difficult for him at that point. What he had to say, we, as in him and Rafa, played almost 3 hours of high quality tennis. Of course I'm disappointed not to win it, but at the same time very pleased with the level of tennis I managed to find in the later stages of this tournament. Going into Paris brings me good sensation. I actually now am starting to feel like I actually want to feel on clay. So I think if I manage to play well the way I played last night and today, I think I have a good chance to go all the way in Paris. So yes, even though Novak lost, I think he can take a lot of, let's say, confidence from this performance. It was a lot closer than the final that he had against Rafa last year. So, and I feel like both of these players are now peaking. We saw all through after Australian Open, through the tournaments that they're playing in, they weren't winning anything. Rafa won Barcelona. Rafa Nadal, as I said earlier, has now matched Novak Djokovic on 36 Masters 1000 titles each. They're the two faraway leaders. Roger Federer is third with 28. I don't think there's anyone that actually thinks he will now win 10 more to challenge these guys. So I think it's a 2-horse race definitely between Rafa and Novak. Let me know who you think will end with the most Masters 1000. Will they both reach 40 Masters? How many do you think they're going to end up on actually? I think 50 will be a stretch, but that would be some achievement. But I think definitely both players can look at getting to at least 40 Masters 1000 title, which is remarkable because, we saw in Madrid when Sasha Zverev won it, that was his 4th. And out of the next gen players, let's say, he's the one that's got the most. So, and he's only on 4, so he has a long road to go, as do all the other players, before they get anywhere close to Novak or Rafa with 36 Masters in the big title race, which is the big titles, the Grand Slams, Masters 1000, World Tour Finals, and the Olympic Games, and the important ones, let's say. Novak leads that, but now Rafa has won his 57th, so he's only 2 behind Novak now, and of course he's improved his head-to-head against Novak. It's now 29-28 for Novak Djokovic, and Rafa's won the last 2 or 3 meetings. In the last 5 times they've played on clay, Rafa has won. Novak's last win against Rafa was 5 years ago in Rome in the quarterfinal stage in 2016. Rafa will have the chance to tie up the head-to-head if they do meet in the French Open. This year they're going to potentially play in the semi-finals. Now, I do not like that. I really do hope that the draw puts them apart. Medvedev is going to be the number 2 seed for the French Open. However, really and truly, how many of us really think he's going to reach the final? We all know how poor he is on clay, and he's not really improved this year at all in clay. He had the chance to become world number 1 if he improved his clay court performance. However, he's not really shown me anything to do anything on clay at the French Open, and I think he will really struggle holding on to that number 2 now. I think other players like Tsitsipas, Rafa, of course, even Zverev, Dominic Thiem, if he finds a bit of form, I think Medvedev's in a lot of trouble in terms of ranking points after Wimbledon, at least. So yeah, I think Medvedev won't reach the final, so I really do hope Rafa's in that half, and hopefully we get a rematch of Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal for the French Open, but a lot more competitive this time around, which could be the case. Before we go into the live rankings and the live race, as you know, there's a bunch of tournaments happening this week as well. Belgrade, Lyon, Geneva, where Roger Federer will be making his comeback onto clay. I was surprised that he is playing any clay because of he's coming back from a knee injury. Clay's really not been his best surface in recent years, especially, and he's not played in clay a few times over the past year. So I was surprised he is playing in clay, but he is back. And he had a few words to say. So regarding his comeback, he said, "I need to play 10 matches to give you a better answer in terms of about his level. Things have been going well in practice. When you come back from an injury, you're in a different place than everyone else. I am excited about the comeback and won't be focused on being at the same level as Rafa or Novak right now." What he's trying to say is basically, don't expect me to reach their height straight away. He even went on, if you read a little bit more, that there are other players like the next gen, Medvedev, Thiem, Zverev, Tsitsipas, who he said are doing really well. Of course, in the past year or so that he's been out, naturally you'd expect them to improve their level as well. But he does believe he will become a top tier player again. So it'll be quite interesting to see how he performs in Geneva. Personally, I've really got no expectations from him. I think even Wimbledon's going to be tough, but yeah, especially on the clay, I don't think he'll go very far at the French Open. But we may be surprised. To wrap this video up, I do want to take a look at the live rankings. Not much has changed in the rankings, so I'm going to be really quick about this. Novak Djokovic still in first place, world number 1. Medvedev 2, Rafa 3rd, Dominic Thiem 4th, Tsitsipas 5th, Sasha Zverev 6th, Rublev 7th, and Roger Federer 8th. But I think more interestingly, and we can, as the season progresses, this gets more and more important. It's the race, which is the accumulation of points only in the calendar year. So in 2021, of course, by the end of the year, whoever accumulates the most points, they will become the world number 1. Right now, Tsitsipas does still lead the way on 3,110 points, and Novak Djokovic, after his performance in Rome, has climbed up to 2nd, and he's on 2,920, which is 190 points only less than Tsitsipas. Considering that he's had a very light schedule compared to other years, I think he'll be very happy with where he is in the race right now. Rublev is 3rd, Zverev 4th, Medvedev 5th, and Rafa Nadal has jumped up to 6th now, so he's on 2,220 points. So I think Rafa will also be very pleased with where he's at. He's 700 points behind Novak and about 900 behind Stefanos Tsitsipas. However, if Rafa wins the French Open and doesn't play Tsitsipas in the final, then he'll become number one in this race. So, you know, and let's be honest, he's probably going to win the French Open. So once again, Rafa will be very happy being sixth right now, because he knows the French Open title will push him all the way up to first. Novak will be happy as well, because then after this he moves on to the grass and then the hard courts, where you expect him to pick up good points as well. Karatsev is in 7th place. He's of course having a real amazing breakthrough year at the age of 27, doing really well. A lot of people thought that maybe the Australian Open run to the semi-finals was a one-off, a bit fluky perhaps, but he has proven everyone wrong. He has maintained that level and he's really doing well. I read somewhere that he still hasn't got a sponsor, but he's waiting to become a top 10 player before he takes on any sponsorships, because they'll be a bit more lucrative. And fair plays on him. He's really performing well. And then Hubert Hurkacz is in 8th place on 1,460 points. Hurkacz, of course, won the first Masters 1000 this year in Miami, where he beat Yannick Sinner in the final. Monte Carlo was won by Tsitsipas, who beat Rublev in the final. Madrid was won by Zverev, who beat Berrettini. And a little bit of, let's say, order was restored in Rome, where we had a Rafa Nadal, Novak Djokovic final. That's pretty much it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed some of the stats, facts, and let's say build up towards the French Open. I really cannot wait for the French Open. Of course, whenever there's a Grand Slam, it's like for me in tennis, there's 4 World Cups a year, especially with the history on the line. Rafa Nadal going for major number 21 at the French Open, and very few would say he's not going to achieve it. Of course, that would mean for the first time in his career he will be ahead of Roger Federer in the slam race, and also he will have the most slams on the men's side. So lots of history for Rafa there. Of course, if Novak wins, he'll be on 19 slams, getting that one closer to his 2 rivals. So lots to play for at the French Open. Very excited to see where it goes. Will the next gen, will one of them do it? I think the 2, let's say, next gen players to look out for are Tsitsipas and Zverev. However, you can't forget Dominic Thiem. He has reached multiple French Open finals. Yes, he's been off form recently, and I'll be honest with you, I am slightly concerned for him. He won the US Open last year. That must have been a big weight off his shoulder, let's say, but he, after that, not really done as good as maybe some of us expected him to. So let's see how that happens. Tsitsipas right now looks like he's the contender to be the next world number 1, because of his, let's say, consistency on all surfaces. Medvedev seems to really struggle on the clay. Zverev doesn't seem consistent enough. Dominic Thiem's just fallen off completely, really. So that is it for the video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Once again, if you did, please do drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future content. There'll be more content coming up as the lead up to the French Open begins. I hope you have all been well, and I hope you also take care. Thank you once again for watching the video.